Just one day after Christmas in 1973, a film was released which would transform Hollywood's opinion on horror movies forever. That film was The Exorcist, which in 2023 is celebrating its 50th anniversary with a newly released 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray from Warner Brothers. As a result of this 4K release, we've now seen The Exorcist come to every major physical media format, which means this is a great time to walk you all through the home video history of The Exorcist. In late 1973, when Warner Brothers was releasing The Exorcist to theaters, they did not have a lot of faith in the film for three reasons. One, it had a fairly unknown cast. Two, it was a horror movie, which at the time was not looked at the way it is now. And three, it had gone way over budget, up to an $11 million budget, which at the time was a lot of money.
I don't give a flying into a rolling donut.
Upon initial release, Warner Brothers only put the film in 30 theaters worldwide, but it ended up setting records for every single theater that it was in. Seeing that success, Warner Brothers quickly expanded the theatrical release, and The Exorcist quickly became one of the largest Hollywood hits of all time. On that budget of just $11 million, The Exorcist brought in $66.3 million during its box office run, which adjusted for inflation is just under $300 million. It became the highest grossing film of all time for Warner Brothers up to that point, and was the second highest grossing film of 1974, right behind the classic movie The Sting. Today's video is made possible by my sponsor, BetterHelp. If you're dealing with a possessed child that's causing serious stress or possibly possessed yourself, it might be time to check out BetterHelp. BetterHelp Online Therapy is an awesome option for meeting with a therapist in a remote session. By answering a few simple questions, BetterHelp can get you matched up with a professional therapist in just a few days. By using my link, betterhelp.com/filmsathome, you support videos like this and also get 10% off your first month of therapy. So are you stuck in your bed while fighting a demonic presence? Well, not to worry, because BetterHelp offers online therapy through chat, video call, or over the phone. So no matter what situation you find yourself in, you can get help. So the next time that you find your head spinning, literally or figuratively, take a deep breath, open up your laptop, and head on over to betterhelp.com/filmsathome to get started today. That's betterhelp.com/filmsathome to get 10% off your first month and help you get connected with a therapist today.
I'm not going back in there.
With several reissues and director's cuts, that domestic box office is now estimated to be just under $200 million, making this an extremely successful horror movie with long legs. Because of the film's critical and box office success, it actually became the first horror film to be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture, and it took home 10 nominations in total. At the awards, William Peter Blatty won Best Adapted Screenplay for writing the screenplay. He was also the original novelist who wrote the story, and the sound engineers took home the award for Best Sound. Since then, it's had several sequels, my favorite being The Exorcist 3, and it just recently had a new trilogy launch starting with The Exorcist Believer in October of 2023. Now, when it comes to home video, based on the time it was released, it took a long time for this to see a home video release, with the first one being in 1979. In 1979, we got a clamshell VHS tape from Warner Home Video. This was a pretty bulky tape. This would have been the first time it was available at home, and it had some really unique artwork, definitely a retro 1970s look to it versus some of the VHS tapes from the 80s and 90s that you're probably more used to seeing. In 1982, The Exorcist was released on the sort of new format, the CED Select-A-Vision video disc format. Now, this is not widely known. I've talked about this in other home video history videos, but you can look up what the CED was all about. A very niche format, certainly not as big as Laserdisc, but one that has become very collectible in recent years. Now, in 1983, The Exorcist was released on Laserdisc for the first time in a Laserdisc extended play edition. There isn't really anything noteworthy about these releases of the early 80s and late 70s. They were all in a pan and scan format, cropped to fit the size of that 1:33 aspect ratio that most people had on their TVs, and it contained pretty basic sound and no special features. In 1990, 11 years after the first VHS release by Warner Brothers, the film was re-released on a standard VHS format in a much more traditional package featuring the original theatrical artwork and a pretty basic case. Again, this release did not have much new about it except for the fact that it had been 11 years since there was a VHS on the market, so this one apparently sold very well because the older 1979 clamshell had been sort of hard to get by that point. Now, in this time period, from 1988 until 1999, overseas in the UK, The Exorcist was actually completely unavailable on home video because it had been banned during a reclassification of home video releases by the British Board of Film Classification. Their argument was that given this was available on home video, it could be easily picked up by younger, impressionable children. The 12-year-old star of the movie Reagan had them worried about mass hysteria and the effect that this could have specifically on young women. Now, of course, we know that this is all crazy and this was an overreaction at the time, which affected many films, but in 1999, it was finally reclassified and allowed to be released in the UK after the board considered that the aged special effects were less impactful than they had originally considered in 1988. So during that time, the film could be shown in cinemas, but it could not come out on home video whatsoever. So there's a huge gap here for 11 years where nobody in the UK could own the film on VHS, Laserdisc, or even DVD when that was released in 1998. Now, in 1998, the film celebrated its 25th anniversary with a pretty wide set of releases, including Laserdisc, DVD, and a VHS tape. The Laserdisc release featured a widescreen transfer for the very first time, and the 25th anniversary DVD and VHS tapes had special features like the Fear of God documentary by the BBC, a commentary by director William Friedkin, a CD soundtrack, art cards, and a special package that included a film reel insert. Now, there were also standard edition VHS and DVDs and Laserdisc releases, but this is notable that it was the first time this film was available in its intended aspect ratio shown in widescreen 25 years after you could see that version in theaters. Now, the next notable release was in the year 2000, where they released, quote, the version you've never seen, unquote, with 11 minutes of new footage, all remastered and inserted back into the film with director William Friedkin's blessing. This was essentially what has become the extended cut or director's cut now, and it was available on both VHS and DVD. Now, after that extended cut release, we'd go 10 years without a new cut of the film, when in 2010, we got an extended cut Blu-ray with a new 3-part documentary and an extended and theatrical release in the digibook format, which was a popular format for Warner Brothers in the early days of Blu-ray. The extended cut Blu-ray only featured the extended cut and had a new 3-part documentary on the film. The digibook version looks like a hardcover book, has some essays and notes on the film on the inside, and included both the extended and theatrical cuts of the movie on Blu-ray. This Blu-ray release was decent, but in 2013, there was a 40th anniversary Blu-ray which was remastered, included both cuts of the film, and had a brand new fascinating documentary featuring Father Eugene Gallagher, which is where William Peter Blatty got the idea for his story. It also had a new look back by author William Peter Blatty and screenwriter on the film and his story, where he got that idea and how he was inspired. So this release was very cool, including all of those new special features, some brand new artwork, and a newly remastered version of the film. 1 year later, in 2014, the complete anthology Blu-ray was released, which included all of the Exorcist sequels up to that time, and included both the theatrical and extended cuts of the original film on Blu-ray. Now, after 2014, we would not get another release of the original until 2023 for the 50th anniversary. In 2023, the 50th anniversary release of the film featured a new 4K film transfer with a brand new remaster, a brand new HDR color grade, and brand new Dolby Atmos audio. This edition was available as a standard edition with a slipcover featuring controversial art that not everyone liked, but it also included a Best Buy exclusive steelbook with some more traditional art of our friend Reagan, and it included a special edition 4K set which had some really incredible pieces, was packaged in a sort of purple Bible case, and is definitely one of the cooler collectible special editions that's come out recently. Now, unfortunately, that special edition sold out very quickly. It can be hard to find, but the Best Buy Steelbook and the 50th Anniversary Standard editions have been pretty widely available and will likely continue to be stocked, as it was a very, very popular release. So that is the home video history of William Friedkin's The Exorcist, one of the most influential, powerful, and scary horror movies of all time. To this day, I still talk to people who are frightened by this movie, who will not watch it with the lights off. It's a movie that has stood the test of time and has played on every format from CED to Laserdisc to VHS to DVD, Blu-ray, and now 4K, with all sorts of incredible editions, new cuts of the film, new remasters, all sorts of new special features, and a very interesting history which is well worth diving deeper into if you want to learn more about the film and its supposedly cursed background. So as new sequels are released with The Exorcist Believer and new offshoots of that film continue to be created, and remakes, new trilogies, who knows what may come next. But either way, The Exorcist Original is still the best film in the series. It's an incredible film with an amazing soundtrack, an amazing score, incredible special effects for the time period, and it continues to scare people to this day, which is something that not a lot of movies at 50 years old can truly say. So if you've not seen this one since the days of VHS, there are incredible Blu-ray releases, incredible 4K releases out there. It's a great film. If you've never seen it, now's the time to go watch it. Celebrate the 50th anniversary. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video on the complete home video history of this absolutely incredible, influential film that transformed a genre and really put horror on the map. So thank you for watching. If you want more videos like this on movies, physical media, collecting, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. Thanks once again to our sponsor BetterHelp, who allowed me to create this video, get it edited, pay people who are much better than me to make this happen. So I much appreciate their sponsorship. Please go support them. That helps support my channel. And as always, make sure to follow me on social media. All those links will be in the video description. But thank you for watching, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the spooky season with The Exorcist on 4K, and I'll talk to you all soon.